You think emotionally intelligent people are just naturally calm and collected. You think they were born with some gift that makes relationships easy and conflict non-existent. You assume they don't struggle with their feelings like everyone else does. But psychology says that's completely wrong. The truth is, emotionally intelligent people do one specific thing every single day that most people avoid like the plague. And it changes everything about how their brain processes the world. Let's break down what psychology actually says about only emotionally intelligent people do this daily. 1. They deliberately pause between stimulus and response. Psychologists call this the sacred gap, and it's the space where your prefrontal cortex gets to override your amygdala's panic button. When something triggers them, they've trained themselves to create a 2-second window before reacting, which rewires their neural pathways over time. This microscopic habit gives them power over their emotional state instead of being controlled by it. 2. They inventory their emotions without judgment multiple times throughout the day. Research shows this practice, called affect labeling, literally calms down the threat detection system in your brain. They'll mentally note, "I'm feeling anxious," or "I'm noticing anger rising," without trying to fix it or shame themselves for it. This daily audit prevents emotional buildup that explodes later and keeps their stress hormones regulated. 3. They actively seek feedback about their blind spots. Psychology calls this metacognitive monitoring, which means they're constantly checking if their perception matches reality. Most people defend their self-image at all costs, but emotionally intelligent people ask trusted friends how they actually came across in that meeting or conversation. This vulnerability protects them from becoming the person everyone talks about but nobody tells the truth to. 4. They practice something called emotional granularity every single day. Instead of just saying they feel bad, they distinguish between disappointed, resentful, overwhelmed, or discouraged. Neuroscience shows that the more precisely you can name an emotion, the better your brain can regulate it. This daily precision gives them surgical control over their internal world while everyone else is drowning in vague discomfort. 5. They deliberately expose themselves to perspectives that challenge their assumptions. Psychologists recognize this as cognitive flexibility training, and it's the antidote to the echo chamber effect that makes most people rigid and defensive. They'll read opinions they disagree with, ask questions instead of debating, and genuinely try to understand before being understood. This daily practice expands their empathy range and makes them impossible to manipulate because they've already considered multiple angles. 6. They end each day with a 2-minute reflection on what triggered them and why. Research shows this habit, called emotional autopsy, builds self-awareness faster than years of passive experience. They ask themselves, what made me defensive today? What pattern am I noticing? What does this reveal about my values? This nightly ritual turns every interaction into data that upgrades their emotional operating system, while everyone else just repeats the same reactions forever. So if you're someone who does these things daily, you're not overthinking or being too sensitive. You're psychologically sophisticated, self-regulating, and emotionally evolved. If you want more psychology videos that explain the parts of you nobody talks about, hit that subscribe button right now, because the next video might be the one that finally makes you understand why you are the way you are.